Hi, and welcome to the Skincarma Pod. I'm Carmine, the creator and voice of the Skincarma blog. With more than 25 years in beauty as a brand builder, copywriter, and skincare junkie, I'm putting my product wisdom and expertise to work demystifying skincare. On today's episode of the Skincarma Pod, I'm joined by Dahlia Devkota, the founder of Editrix, a first-in-class microbiome system that's redefining what it means to truly renew skin. A former beauty editor turned skincare visionary, Dahlia brings a rare mix of industry skepticism and scientific rigor to the conversation. Her brand, co-developed with her sister Dr. Suzanne Devkota, a leading microbiome researcher at Cedars-Sinai, harnesses the post-biotic power of beneficial skin microbes to create what she calls an innate renewal protocol. I've incorporated the Editrix products into my own skincare routine for the past 2 weeks and have been struck by the extraordinary ingenuity behind them. So I'm excited to go beyond the surface to explore what happens when beauty meets biology, why healthy skin doesn't have to be just a marketing term, and how Dahlia's journey from editor to Editrix is rewriting beauty's rules. Let's do this. Let's talk with Dahlia. Dahlia, hi.
Hi, Carmine. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
You look fantastic.
As do you with your nails.
My nails and our glowing skin.
As my daughter does. This is like...
She does that?
We all do this. I don't know. Every picture, all the girls are like this. What is that?
How old is your daughter?
She just turned 15, so...
Oh, is she using your products?
She does. She uses...
That's cool.
Never breaks out. All her friends are on Accutane and crazy stuff, and they don't listen to me. I'm like, just feed the bacteria. My daughter has flawless skin. They think she's wearing foundation every day. She does not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. And I want to talk about that when we talk about the products and the whole concept of these two cleansers. And, the Ayurvedic cleanser, like I completely get it. Like every cleanser strips your skin, no matter what. That's the whole point of a cleanser, but these don't.
No.
Yeah.
We can talk
All
about
right, so
that when we get into it.
Yeah, definitely. We need to talk about that. It's just so, like, all the products, they're so different than anything that I've ever tried.
Well, that
and
means
I try everything.
Because that is what you do. So that...
Yeah. All right, so let's start with you, and then we'll get into the brand. Like, who are you? Who are you, Dahlia? Where are you hailing from?
Well, currently I'm hailing from Los Angeles, but I am
okay.
Born in New York, lived in New York up until probably 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you got sick of the cold? What happened?
Life path, married, just, I had an old editor mentor of mine tell me, as much as we love New York is still only one place and the world is vast. So I was ready to sort of get out and sort of see what else was out there. And, but New York always has my heart and I'm there every month. So in some ways I feel like I'm still, always tethered to my city.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that you were just here, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks and I'm there once a month. So I'm never too far from it.
Well, good. You'll get your fill of the chill in a couple weeks, won't you?
Although it's getting cold in LA right now.
I know. My friends in LA texted me this morning screenshots of their weather app, and it was like, I don't know if it was like 45 or something. I'm like, oh God.
It's 40. It was 48 degrees this morning. I was going to Pilates and I was like bundling up. I know you get very soft out here. Like I'm sure fur today. And
it reminds me, I think I told you that I lived in LA for 15 years before I moved back here. And I remember it was about 2 weeks after I moved to LA. These same friends that had texted me this morning with the screenshots were living in Westwood at the time.
Yeah.
And I was living in Mid-Wilshire near the La Brea tar pits. And I remember sitting, I was going to take the bus. I didn't have a car. I was going to take the bus down Wilshire Boulevard to see them. And I'm sitting on a bench at the bus stop across the street from a bank. and the bank had the time and temperature flashing on the thing, and I'm sitting there, and I was shivering. I'm like completely shivering. I don't remember what time of year. I guess it was probably February because I moved there in February, or March. It was, I left here in the early spring, and I'm shivering, and I'm like, and I look up, and the time had changed to the temperature, and it said 55 degrees. I was like, please,
Well,
what
what's
an idiot.
cold?
Considering what I had just left, I stopped
I'm sure
shivering.
there's someone out there right now wearing fur in LA. I'm not even joking. They're North Face parkas.
Yes.
And that's what
Hilarious.
happens. The body just gets very acclimated very quickly.
Yeah, it's so true. Very quickly, two
Yeah.
weeks. All right, so you hail from here, and talk to me about your career path, because you're coming from the beauty editor side of, magazines.
Yeah. So I'm a journalist by, trade and
Mm-hmm.
training. Did the schooling and all that. And yeah, my first early jobs were in magazine. I did the whole started from the bottom, started in the wardrobe closet at W Magazine, basically a glorified intern, went up. I was at Allure as an editor. And my last post was actually as a beauty editor at W, which is so funny because I was reading W Magazine when I was 14 years old. When everyone else was reading 17 Magazine, I was searching for W. And at that time, they were actually hard to find because they were like oversized and
Yeah.
you'd have to go to the bookstore and find them. And I was addicted to W and Elsa Clench on CNN. I just loved the world of fashion and editorial and knew that's where I wanted to work. So that was as soon as I graduated from school, it was like marching into the HR office at Condé Nast, and they hired me honestly right away. And it's been a pretty beautiful experience. I worked with some of the best editors in business. Linda Wells hired me to Allure.
Wow.
I worked under the late Jane Larkworthy, who passed away recently, unfortunately. Yeah, some incredible editors. I feel like I worked at that golden time in magazine editorial where it was pre-blog, even pre-Instagram, pre-influencers. So it was just a beautiful time to write and be immersed in that world.
Yeah, and the brand really feels that, like, has that your DNA in it. Like, it feels very editorial. Like,
Well, it's
this
my
is
it's my love. I mean,
yeah.
so Editrix means female editor.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, great. Good point. Yep.
and it's my homage to my past, and I still consider myself an editor. I'm always editing constantly ingredients, and I write everything. I write everything on the website, the blogs, the packaging. I do
It
all of
shows. It really shows. It
that.
feels very editorial. It's very thoughtful.
Thank you.
The education is really dense. It's so smart. I think probably, the first thing that stands out to me is the Latin. I studied
Well,
Latin in high school and college.
First person that you actually impressed me from the first time I met you because you got it right away.
Yeah, yeah. I love everything about it. I love the poetry behind it. I love that it's very obvious how much you love language, and we very much align on that.
Thank you. I
Did
appreciate
you
it.
ever imagine that you'd be founding your own brand, your own beauty brand, in all of that time in
No.
beauty journalism?
No, that wasn't really a thing. I think it's become much more of a thing to be a founder, and
Hmm.
that was not really part of the trajectory of editorial. It was like the dream was to be editor in chief,
Right.
and or maybe you would like sort of segue into PR and like have your own PR company, but that was also rare. It was really the goal was to rise the ranks in the magazine. But as the industry has crumbled around us, that is no longer the thing. So a lot of my colleagues have gone into consulting and brand development and using their expertise in so many different ways. So no, I never thought about starting a brand until and we can get into the science later. It was really inspired by my sister. When honestly I was a little overwhelmed with the beauty industry. I feel like I had seen everything. I had done so much. I was bored a little bit. Nothing was really coming at me that was interesting until I really did see this white space in the market through my sister's research. And that's really where the germination of Editrix came from.
Right. So talk to me about that white space and your sister, Dr. Suzanne Devkota.
Yeah.
She's at Cedars-Sinai she's a microbiome researcher.
Yeah, so my sister, she's really at the forefront of microbiome research in the world. She's
Mm,
in her field. She's quite well known. She's, graduated from the University of Chicago, Harvard Medical School, did her postdoc, and then came to Los Angeles because she wanted to be near me. She had an opportunity to stay at Harvard or go to Columbia University in New York, but she came out here so we could be closer. We're really close, and she really, she's quite young. She's 6 years younger than me, but has established her own institute at Cedars-Sinai. It's the Human Microbiome Institute. And she runs this and hires doctors and researchers, and they really research the microbiome of every part of the body and how
mm,
that can really pioneer a lot of health. So she is working on things that are far beyond beauty. But it's like gene editing bacteria to cure true disease,
right.
diabetes and cancer, and she works with Nobel Prize winning scientists from other labs at Berkeley. So she's just really at the forefront. So, I would often meet with her at some of her lectures around the world because she would go to fun places like Stockholm and San Sebastian, and we would go and I would sit down because I do have the beauty background and I come
Right.
from a very science family. My father's a physician. I have a lot of physicians in my family. Science has always been very interesting to me. And so I would go and I was very interested in the microbiome.
Hmm.
I would sit in on the lectures and I asked her, I was like, listen, I'm really interested in the skin microbiome because I don't hear anyone talking about the skin microbiome. Even her, she's very focused on the gut.
Yeah.
But we know it's all connected, right?
Yeah.
So I just said, can I come over once a week? Can we just have a glass of wine? Can I just talk to you about your research? And can we just talk bacteria? I was just, I just want to nerd out with her. And I still do. I love to go out with her and just ask her a million questions. And she was into it. And I started to really see how the beauty industry really ignores this ecosystem that we have living on our skin that is there doing a lot of the work that we think beauty products should do. So then I asked her, I was like, listen, I think there's something here. Can we use your lab? She has a lot of postdoc students working there. And I was like, can we go into some research? So this was pre-COVID.
Hmm.
And then we went into COVID, so we had a lot of time on our hands, and we went into the lab and did R&D and discovered this bacteria. Not that we discovered the bacteria is always there, but discovered what it could really do for your skin. And that bacteria is your beneficial bacteria that you want on your skin. So people think bacteria, they think just bad. Well, we have
Yeah.
protective bacteria that we need to keep there. And a lot of us are missing this bacteria because we overdo beauty products or we overwash or the environment. There's a million reasons we may not have it in enough supply to protect us. So we basically grow this bacteria in a lab, and we
Hmm.
take all the nutrients that the bacteria produces. So we're not using the living bacteria, which is a probiotic. We're taking the postbiotics, which are
Got
its
it.
nutrients. And these nutrients are really peptides. Everyone's talking about peptides. Your bacteria produces peptides. It produces vitamins and amino acids and protein, all the things that we are hoping to get from man-made things and put it into skincare. Your
Right.
bacteria naturally does it in the proportion that you actually need. And so we put this back into our skincare.
Into I believe is your biodiversity broth.
Exactly. You did
Right.
your research. So
I
that's what we
did.
our biodiversity broth, and we have a patent pending on that. And that is our because we developed a fermentation system with this as well.
That's amazing. And so
Yeah,
that's in all the products?
that's in Subrare, which you pronounced
Oh,
beautifully.
superare.
One that you're
That's
obsessed with,
this one.
huh?
I am
And
obsessed with this product. I can't spray it. I actually the first time I tried it, I sprayed it directly on my face and I was like, that's a mistake. I
you know
spray it into my palms.
exactly, you can spray or into
Yeah.
a spray, and you go like, and you just
Yes. And press it in. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It smells like I don't even know how to explain. It smells like bacteria. Does that make sense?
fermentation,
It
so
smells like fermentation. That's what it
it's
is.
a little yeasty, a little.
Yeah. Yeah. But it feels incredible and it feels so healthy when you apply it onto your skin.
I
It's such
really
a different feeling.
Yeah, this is something that you can just keep in your medicine cabinet, honestly, because you can use it in any part of your body that has a skin dysbiosis. So, yes,
Mhm.
for your skin, it will give you that glassy, beautiful look, poreless. It heals a lot of skin discolorations. But if you're having back acne, spray it on your back, heals that. If you, I mean, I know this is a little gross, but my brother had like a toe fungus and he sprayed on there and it healed it. So
I mean, it could have gotten grosser. I was like, where is this going? Yeah. Okay. Toe fungus.
It really just, it allows the skin to sort of take over and fortify and come back into balance. And that's really the easiest way to describe it. And it's fortified with other postbiotics, not just the one we do in the lab, but we have a myriad of other bacterial postbiotics in it and some yeast postbiotics. So it's this melange of fermentation.
Right. It's and the way the products are structured, we might as well just jump right into it because they're really amazing. They're structured in a 4-step system, right? So the first is Demigod, which is an Ayurvedic cleanser.
Yes. So I call this a functional beauty ritual. It's 4 products to get you cleansed, fortified, and then the last step is hydration plus anti-aging. And really that's all you need because, the philosophy is to minimize product overload because that is what deteriorates the ecosystem. So yeah, you start with Demigod, the oil cleanser, and that's the idea because that has no surfactants in it. So you talked about all cleanser stripping. The idea is that when you use an oil, like attracts like. So you don't need a surfactant. So at the moment you use an oil, and this is a lot of oils can work, but the reason I love this one is I used a combination of low molecular weight oils, so it never is sitting greasy. The skin absorbs it. So it's hydrating also at the same time. But the moment you start using oil on sunscreen and makeup, and all, it immediately emulsifies all that without the need for a surfactant.
Right.
So that first step is protective and also removing all the stuff, the debris.
Got it. And so then the second,
you take that off with a warm washcloth. You don't.
Yes, that's what I was doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then what's the purpose of Dahlia?
Dahlia is a waterless foaming cleanser. So I don't use but no water is used in any of the Editrix products. So most beauty products are mostly distilled water. And then the actives I don't use any. I use rice, the inside of rice water, rice bran.
Okay.
As the base because that is incredibly anti-aging on its own and incredibly brightening. So Dahlia is a foam that will take the oil off, but our goal is to also drop the pH of skin. So most cleansers are alkaline and your beneficial bacteria can't live in alkalinity. And this is what everyone gets wrong in beauty, especially with cleansers. Your beneficial bacteria can live in a very narrow pH between a 4 and a 5.5, which is why I put the pH on everything. That's when it thrives. The higher you go up on the pH scale is actually where pathogenic bacteria like to live. So even when you're using soap on the body, that is quite alkaline. That's probably a pH 10 to 11. So you're just stripping all your beneficial bacteria every time you wash. So the point of Dahlia is to keep that skin acidic because we need an acidic base. It keeps the acid mantle strong, which is why it's called an acid mantle. It needs to be acidic.
Right.
That acidic film is the home of the microbiome. All that bacteria is living on your acid mantle. So if you are cleansing with something alkaline, you dissolve the acid mantle and then the home of the microbiome is gone too. And yes, it rebuilds itself. But when you're little, it rebuilds itself in a matter of hours. When you get older, it can take weeks for that ecosystem to rebuild. It's no different than taking antibiotics in the gut, right? The moment you take antibiotics, it decimates your gut. That's the same thing you're doing every time you cleanse, decimating the ecosystem. So let's say by the time you're our age, it will take a few weeks to get that fully intact ecosystem. And in the meantime, what's happening? You've left everything exposed, except pathogenic bacteria, which is hanging out and playing and it has no opposition, which is why there is such an increase in eczema, psoriasis, adult acne.
Sensitivity,
inflammation. That is on the rise because we are overdoing beauty. And so I'm like, often I'm called the anti-beauty brand because I go against so much of what is standard beauty.
Including retinol.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, at all, right?
It's an artificial way of turning over the skin when it's not ready. So you're pushing baby skin up. Yes, people think that's collagen induction, but you are pushing skin up before it's really cooked. And so that baby skin is thin. It's more prone to wrinkling and sun damage. So yeah, it might look great when it comes out. It's like shiny and tight, but it's the skin that's actually going to wrinkle faster. It's going to be more susceptible to damage by the environment. So that is why I don't believe in that. I'd
Yeah.
rather collagen induction through microneedling, which is also what we have. There's other ways to stimulate collagen renewal without
What about vitamin C?
Well, vitamin C is great. That's an antioxidant.
Yeah. Or taking, ingesting something that stimulates collagen, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then step 4 is Bacterium delirium.
Step 3. So step 3 is superare.
Superare, sorry.
That's okay. And that's really also bringing the acidity down the skin. And now we're refortifying the barrier. We're refortifying the ecosystem because we're putting all this postbiotics on the skin.
Actually, I took my gloves off so I can play with this now. Yeah.
So yes, it has all the microbiome goodies in there, but we also have traditional things that people love: niacinamide, brightening, an antioxidant. It has vitamin C. It has the traditional things that fortify the skin also. But yeah, and then we have, one of the things that makes it smell a little yeasty is we have galactomyces in there. And
okay.
So I don't know if you're familiar with galactomyces.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, so it is the yeast that's used in sake fermentation, and that is incredibly anti-aging.
Really popular in J beauty and K beauty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the way we do that slightly different is we have a proprietary way. We take the galactomyces and we actually ferment it with botanicals that are like Ayurvedic botanicals that are incredibly healing. And when you do that, you're releasing the nutrition of that plant in a way that's much more absorbable by the skin. It makes it more bioavailable.
Fascinating. I didn't realize how, as much as I was smitten with this product, there's so much about it that I am learning from you right now.
Yeah.
And I have incorporated it into my morning and PM skincare routine every day for the last 2 weeks.
What have you noticed since you've done it?
I just really feel like my skin is completely in balance.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Amazing. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Really, really balanced. And this, you're from here. This time of year, when it starts to get cold, oh my God. It's like red alert.
And the beauty of this is you can keep layering. You can throw this in your backpack and you can it doesn't have to be just morning and night. Like in the summer, I take this in my beach bag, and in the moment I'm on the sun, I constantly do this so I don't get melasma. So it can be used in so many different layering ways. You don't have to follow the layering of the 4 steps. You can inverse some, like it just depends on what you need.
Yeah. You can incorporate it into your own routine too, yeah?
It depends though. It depends. So because this is very pH specific.
Right.
If you're using a cleanser that's alkaline and then you are incorporating these, you're asking the products to work 10 times harder and they may not have the same. This is why I really do love it as a step-by-step. But yeah, you can incorporate it. Not everyone is going to take, an entire system and use it. So.
All right. And that brings us to
Bacterium deliriums. That was like a fever dream name I just came up with. I was like, I don't know. There's just something about that. I'm like, I don't know. Like, again, I said, if anyone put me in a focus group and said, what do you think of these names? They'd probably kick me out of the focus group.
Oh, when I worked in-house at L'Oreal, the focus groups were like a sitcom. I had one, I can't remember what product it was. I think it might have been Abyssine. Do you remember that Abyssine cream?
Yeah.
That Kiehl's had? It was our first anti-aging cream.
Okay.
The original founders didn't believe in anti-aging. So when I started at Kiehl's, we had nothing that was focused on aging at all.
Right.
And that was the first product we worked on was that. And it was made with an extremophile. I built a whole story about this extremophile and the hydrothermal ocean vents. And the product was called Abyssine, based on the word abyss. And I did, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to turn this interview around because that's my natural go-to is to interview other people. So I would love to.
Go for it. So we were in focus groups, and I remember it was a woman from Staten Island in the group of 12, and they were asking around the table. We were behind the glass, the mirror, the one-way mirror.
Oh, you can't. They don't know that you're listening.
They know we're listening, but they can't see us, and they certainly couldn't hear us because I was vociferous. And they go around the room, and most people were like, "That's an interesting name, Abyssine. Like, what does that come from? It sounds romantic." And we get to this one woman. She said, "I don't know. This sounds like bioterrorism to me." And my head of marketing was next to me. She goes, "There goes that. We're not." And I was like, "No, you're not going to let one woman from Staten Island ruin my product name. Are you kidding?" Like,
no, yeah, that's why I'm like, I just know what I want. Like, I don't want to hear the noise. It's just
yes. Oh my God. Totally. And thank God. And
interesting about that too. It's that, yes, maybe this isn't for everybody, but because it's so niche and unique, from the naming to the smell to everything, it's found its audience, and the audience love them because they get it. And so not every product's meant for every person, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with some people not understanding it, and that's okay.
Yeah, completely. Well, you're doing something, it's a whole new paradigm. You're doing something completely different that, to your point, is kind of counterintuitive, and most of us, particularly like you and I in beauty, like, we're using products constantly, trying products constantly. And I love that you're making me think about what I'm doing to my skin. And I'll be the first to admit that I probably do over cleanse, because I cleanse, with a micellar water when I first wake up. And then I go for my bike ride, and I've applied sunscreen, and then I get home, like, we're talking like 7:45, 8 a.m. and I'm cleansing again, because I'm taking that all off. And then I'm cleansing when I get home. Or, if I'm working from home around 3 o'clock, I'm like, okay.
And your sweat is actually a beauty product. You actually should keep that sweat on for a while because it has short-chain fatty acids, and it actually serves as a prebiotic for the bacteria that's already living on your skin. It feeds on that sweat
that's so fascinating.
As a food source. So you're actually really fortifying the barrier and the ecosystem. So like, I go to dance class, I sweat, I will just sit and have that on my face for a while, and actually I love the way it looks. So yeah, you're over cleansing for sure.
Definitely. I think I might need to change the title of this episode. Your sweat is a beauty product.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very interesting. The body does so much heavy lifting. We just
completely.
don't
completely
give it enough credit. We think we're smarter than billions of years of evolution.
Yes. Like the whole conversation around exfoliation, I don't force exfoliation at all. I don't use glycolic acid. I would never use any physical scrub on my face.
Yeah.
I use salicylic acid because I want to keep my pores clear, but that's a pretty mild exfoliant. Like, I'm not one of those people.
You can actually, getting rid of sometimes you do need to do some mechanical or acidic exfoliation, because there is sometimes dead skin that your bacteria can't always take care of. So lactic acid is a great gentle way to exfoliate. I actually, I do believe in, I actually make it myself, but a very soft scrub that actually dissolves as you're doing it with some natural ingredients. I do that once a week. It does help. And so I think there's a caveat to a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. But certainly no need to exfoliate every day.
And don't get me started on like
what
office procedures with like CO2 lasers and all that. That is just, no.
Okay, we'll skip ahead. Yes. I want to talk about the skin barrier.
Okay. Well, that's,
and the whole concept, like the whole idea of skin barrier, or talking about the skin barrier, was so taboo. I remember working in-house. I won't call the brand out. This was probably 10 years ago. And I had talked about the skin barrier on product packaging. It was a product that had a form of niacinamide in it that boosted cell renewal. And
what was this?
This is about 10 years ago.
Oh, you were really on the cutting edge, because I would say even when I launched Editrix 4 years ago, skin barrier was still like, people were not talking.
Well, I was about to say, I was laughed out of the marketing meeting with that packaging copy. They were like, there is no way you're talking about the skin barrier on this package. And I was like, what? But that's what it does. Like, I would I was talking to to the scientists that invented the complex that was in the formulas.
Yeah.
And they're like, absolutely not. But now it's everywhere. Everybody wants to talk about skin barrier.
Well,
like, how do you see the industry's understanding of skin barrier health evolving? Like, has it evolved? Yeah.
I think people are throwing the term skin barrier around with products that are actually not really helping the skin barrier, or sometimes doing damage to the skin barrier. So I think people like to use that as like a catch-all, but I think people don't really realize you don't just have one skin barrier. So your acid mantle is one skin barrier. That is the chemical barrier that you have. You have a physical barrier, which are your dead skin cells, the cells actual. You have an immune barrier. Your skin's an immune organ. So there's multiple layers of what a barrier is, and each one of them is protecting you in a different way.
Oh, fascinating. Much more complex than marketers would have us believe.
Yeah, I think people think skin barrier, they might just think it's your skin, like what is the barrier?
Right.
So yeah, that's why, I say this ad nauseum, but your skin is a living ecosystem. It has a living immune system in there. It has to be treated with respect. So when we are constantly CO2 laser our skin, we are beating it up with exfoliating, we're doing this, you're sending actually inflammation signals through that immune system. That's communicating with the entire body's immune system, is communicating with your gut, which communicates with your brain. It's an entire, very highly attuned orchestra. So you have to know what you're doing when you do those things.
Yeah. Millennia and eons in the making.
I like that.
Yeah. So I love the editorial feel to the brand. As I said, the packaging is phenomenal.
Well, this means the world to me because this is your domain. The fact that I got my packaging and the verbiage and that means, because again, I didn't have a focus group. I did this in an echo chamber during COVID, like no feedback from anybody. It was really just me and my designer, and he's like, that's cool. I like it. And he's like really out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really means a lot to hear you say that.
So I feel like you're kind of bridging these two things, like as a former beauty editor and actually you're still an editor. You understand the power of storytelling, and then as a brand founder, you're guided by the science. Like, how do you see yourself striking that balance? And obviously the narrative that is reflective of that balance is what the consumer is seeing.
I don't know if I understand your question correctly, but I think I'm striking the balance right now. Like, I feel like I am always bridging editorial and science, because I'm still in R&D all the time. I'm working on an amazing, we've been in clinical studies, actually, a new product that's launching next year. That's going to blow your mind, Carmine. So if you want to have me back, I will be able to talk about it then.
Deal.
Yeah. The before and afters are pretty remarkable. So I'm still in R&D. I'm constantly looking for scientific innovation. To me, that's what inspires me. I really, really, I never knew I loved it this much. It's probably my favorite part of having a brand, is getting into R&D and working with my chemists. So a lot of brand founders will go and tell their chemists, like, make me an anti-aging cream, make me something like this.
Right.
But I'm in there, like, we're actually like seeing how we can bioengineer a new bacteria. How can we fortify this? What is the penetration of that? Like, I'm so into the minutia of it that I really love. And then I love package design, all of that. So I don't know. I feel like, and I still beauty edit for some publications. I still, I'm a beauty columnist for Modern Vintage News. I still write a lot, and I write all the blogs, and I write all the weekly emails. So I'm constantly, I feel like, married to the two always.
Yeah. I think you touched on something. You said a lot of brands, go to a chemist or a formulator, and they ask them to create a fancy new serum that built around this marketing deck, and centered on trending actives like exosomes. And you and I talked about this, and all the hype and the buzz and the fleeting viral trends. Like, it's insane.
Well, I feel like maybe this is a new episode we should do, but an expose into the beauty industry might get me canceled. But there is a lot of corruption that happens in manufacturing, and there's also a lot of just marketing BS. I've had some chemists, not that I work with, come to me and say, oh, I really think you should add exosomes. It's great for your brand story, the plant exosomes with the microbiome. I'm like, but we know that plant exosomes don't do anything. We don't even know if human exosomes do anything topically. So,
Right.
and they're like, but it's great for the story. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not, if it doesn't work, I'm not interested. So, yeah.
Well, that's what they're used to, right? I mean, that's how most of beauty works, operates.
I know.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I did step away from the industry for a mini minute. I was, when you start to see what's going on behind the curtain a little bit, it can be like, sometimes feel like, what am I doing?
Yeah. So let's move into yet another trend, this whole concept of skin longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's talking about that, and I know you certainly have a position on skin longevity that's authentic.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you and the brand and in the context of skin health?
So as far as Editrix, we know that your bacteria has a multitude of signaling capabilities. So when we talk about longevity, we're talking about skin regeneration. And how is that happening? Your collagen actually communicates with your collagen. All the signaling components, I mean, it's a very complicated pathway, but it is what's stimulating collagen. It's signaling tamping down inflammation. It's signaling all these things. That is longevity. That is skin regeneration. I really do believe this is more of a skin health brand, that the byproduct is beauty. The byproduct is anti-aging. But when you get to the core of it, it is really fortifying your health. And that is longevity.
I love that.
Yeah. So I don't know, a lot of brands, again, like the Skin Barrier, they're hopping onto this word longevity, but tell me what's making that happen.
Right.
I want to know.
Right. That brings it away from, this buzzy term that you've dropped on packaging on we talked about this, I think, on a 20-30-year-old product, and all of a sudden it's repackaged with the word skin longevity on it and nothing else has changed.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So you've said Editrix defines beauty as the reckoning of health, spirit, and science colliding. How do you personally embody that philosophy day to day?
Well, I have, since even before I was a beauty editor, even since a kid, I have been obsessed with wellness and health. I think I get it from my dad, I think he's like the original Jack LaLanne.
Really?
He's 80 and he looks incredible. His hair is like hardly has any gray. He's like, I mean, but my dad's super extreme. Like he'll like get a smoothie and he'll stick anything in it that's living fresh and it'll look brown and it tastes disgusting. He's like, drink it. It's good for you. But my dad would take me to the public library when I was really little. It was like our Sunday little father-daughter thing. And instead of going and getting like a Judy Blume book, I would go and get the Erno Laszlo, like How to Wash Your Face.
Oh my God, with that black soap?
Yeah. I was just,
yes.
There was something, I was always obsessed with, like natural beauty and just this idea of like somehow you can transform yourself or you can take ownership of your health. Like, I don't know. It's just something that I've always loved. So, and when I went to New York looking for my first job, I didn't even know beauty editing was a thing. I knew I wanted to work in fashion. I wanted to work in, like Vogue, W. I didn't know they had beauty editors. So when they offered me a beauty editing job, I was like, I think it was just meant to be. So does that answer your question? I don't
Yes. Yes.
I think
you entered beauty accidentally like I did.
But not. I think it's always been my path. I just I stumbled on it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so last question and then we'll do a quick lightning round.
Yeah.
What's one thing you've learned about yourself through the process of founding your own brand?
That I'm a really good product developer. I didn't know I'd be this good, and I don't mean to like sound boastful, but I think I really understand things before they become a trend, and that I'm not good at multitasking. I developed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I developed ADD starting a brand, and so I've had to really. It's very hard for me to like. I mean, if you could see my computer, I have 10 million tabs open. I'm like toggling between everything. It's just. I get excited and interested in so many things at the same time. And then so that has been difficult for me. So yeah, I've learned that about myself.
Hey, I'm the same way with the tabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know how Safari functions with all the tabs I have open and different like whatever it is, they're separated into.
Sometimes my computer's gonna blow up. I had a friend of mine, look at my screen one time, and also
Mhm.
all the things I have on my desktop, and
Oh, the desktop icon thing? Oh, I can't do that.
she's like,
That
I can't
makes
even
yeah,
look at your computer. It's giving me a headache. So yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah, I can't have a cluttered desktop. That's where I
I've
draw
gotten
the
better
line.
though. I've gotten better because yes, as you get busier too, you have to get like so hyper organized. So I've been like much better about filing things as soon as they happen. And
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, let's do a quick lightning round. These are fun questions.
okay.
Ingredient you think is more hype than hero?
Vitamin E.
Okay.
I don't know. It's the first one that came to mind. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Mineral oil. I think mineral oil is the devil. I don't know why
Stop.
he uses that in anything, but
Ingredient number 2 in a jar of La Mer. Anybody? Anybody? Crickets? What?
also
Yeah.
the one sunscreen that every derm recommends, I won't name it, is mineral oil. That's like
Oh no, I know exactly what product you mean.
I don't understand. I'm like, what? Anyway.
Like what? It's crazy. It is so unnecessary. Underrated skincare ritual.
Double cleansing.
Ah, okay. All right. And how about an overrated skincare ritual?
Micellar water.
Not that first cleanse of my morning at 5:30.
and cleansing wipes. I mean,
Cleansing wipes. Oh God, how ridiculous are cleansing wipes? Your first product obsession. Think back.
my current skin is probably gonna like freak out, but those apricot scrub from like the drugstore when I was in
The St. Ives.
we all have a St. Ives moment.
We all have that. We all have that.
Actually, it's probably Noxzema, St. Ives, and Sun-In my hair.
Sun-In? Oh no. The until I got into skincare, I had no concept of skincare, and until I was probably 21, 20, 20, like through college, I was still using those Stridex pads on my face.
Yeah.
Like horrible. And then I started using, I think my first skincare after like serious skincare was Clinique 3-Step with that horrible exfoliating toner. Oh my God.
Oh, this is how obsessed with skincare I was when I was so young. You know, my dad got me for like I think I was in 6th grade. He got me the Estee Lauder kit with the, that famous night renewal? The brown little thing that they still
Advanced Night Repair.
Yes, they still sell it. I had that like in 6th grade. I was pretty advanced night repair.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a fermented product.
Exactly. So maybe I was onto something back then. I was like,
yeah. That was your early inspiration.
Maybe seeped into my
Speaking of brands like that, like what brand or brands inspired you most as a beauty editor?
No, you're such a whore when you're a beauty editor. You're trying everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of packages that come on your desk. So I don't think I was faithful to anything because your job is to try everything. So
yeah, it's true.
No, I don't think I stuck with anything because you really didn't have time to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, actually some of the things I really loved back then, I don't even think they exist anymore. They were like cool indie brands. I don't know. Is that one brand? I don't even know how you pronounce it anymore. SJAL Shawl. It was an Icelandic brand started by a mother and a daughter. That stuff was incredible. And it came in these cool jars. But I love like these really weird brands back then that I would love to look that up and see if it's still there.
Yeah.
They had a really cool cream. There is a glycolic wash I loved out of Nashville. I don't know. I just always loved like some weird small brands. I was never like obsessed with a Chanel or a Lancome product. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
No shade. No shade.
Yeah.
I'm not really loyal to anything either except for Paula's Choice.
Oh,
I love that brand.
Yes. Yeah. They have a couple. Actually, I do love their that 15% exfoliating. That is not bad for the microbiome, and that turns the skin. I mean, that is next level. So that is a great product, actually, and it's very cheap.
My favorite is the 10% niacinamide. I love that product.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
you have niacinamide, all you need in Subrare and bacteria.
I feel like I can never get enough niacinamide, though.
If you have too much niacinamide, actually, it's not good because it converts to niacin in the skin. You're not getting the benefits of niacinamide.
Oh, really? You can go overboard?
You can, so you should actually stay at a 5%. So too much is too much.
Too much of a good thing.
Yes.
Best advice you ever received as a founder?
That it's going to be lonely. I actually, and this was from a very, very successful CEO that manages worldwide brands and sat with me before I started this. And he's like, I want you to be very clear about what you're about to do because it's a very lonely journey. And it's true. There's a lot of times people don't really understand the stress and the pressures, and a lot of it looks fun from the outside.
Yeah.
But it is a very precious, especially if you are doing this on you're an indie brand with no investors like me. I'm doing this completely independently. It's a journey, and there's not a lot of people that you have that understand what you're going through. So I would agree with that.
All right, last. Finish this sentence. Healthy skin is
left alone.
That's amazing.
Leave it alone.
Oh my God.
Should I do this? I'm like, if you're in something, just don't do it. Walk away.
Dahlia, I love you. That's incredible. A great place to end. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Carmine. You're amazing. And I would love to come and talk about your stuff. I would love to we should just flip it around and I should interview you on your show. How about that?
I would love it. Let's do it. Yeah. It's a date. We'll totally schedule it. That sounds fun. You can interview. No one's ever interviewed me.
I mean, a million questions. Yeah. I just had to shut up because I know it's not my show, but I would love to ask you all.
No, I'll turn it over to you. It'll be the Dahlia takeover of Skincarma.
I'm serious.
All right, deal. Thank you so much. I will drop. I'll drop links to all the products in the show notes. Everybody needs to get themselves a Superare. Superare. All right. Thanks, Dahlia.
Thanks, Carmine. Take care.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Skincarma Pod. Find more insights, real talk, and reviews of my favorite skincare products on the Skincarma blog at skincarma.com. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please rate and review this episode. It helps me to reach more listeners. Ciao.